Okay, um, 30 minutes late, here we go. We want to upgrade Postgres on our Geo HA installation from 9.6.14 to 10.9. You wrote a bunch of things down, Fabian, about how you expected we would have to do this upgrade.
Yeah, but it may be completely wrong, right? So maybe we can quickly talk about this. So my thoughts were, in the Geo cluster, I don't believe we have a distributed Postgres database, right? So there's only one Postgres node. Is that correct?
At the moment, yes.
Yeah. So I don't think a lot of the instructions for upgrading a GitLab HA cluster for the database apply. I think. And so if I looked at the Geo high availability or the Geo upgrade nodes, and I thought what would likely need to happen, because that has happened also for the minor Postgres upgrade, is, or actually that's not true, but I think we have to upgrade. We first have to find the replication slot name used on the primary. Then we have to upgrade Postgres manually on the Postgres node in the Postgres HA on the primary. We'll see what happens, but I anticipate that should upgrade Postgres to 10.9. Following that, I think we have to upgrade the secondary Postgres and also the tracking database, because they need to be all running the same Postgres version, I think, but I'm not sure on the tracking database stuff. Do you know?
So that's from...
That's 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Oh, actually, 3 and 4, actually.
Well, the order I would expect... Shouldn't we replicate the database before we do the upgrade of the tracking? I'm not sure.
I don't know either. So this is why I wrote not sure. It probably is best to wait with the tracking database after we've fixed all of the replication, I think.
Okay, that makes sense. So when you're upgrading an HA cluster, let's consider like the primary and the secondary together be an HA cluster. Unfortunately, this documentation is using a rep manager, and we're not using that.
No, but if you go down to, if you scroll down, I think there should be the upgrading a Geo instance. And so I have essentially adopted this for an HA situation without upgrading GitLab, right?
Yeah, that was planned for this. Only do PostgreSQL.
Yeah.
So if we would start with checking the application slot, there is a secondary underscore and null.
Yep.
So we can get started with running PG upgrades on the primary. That would be the logical first step anyway.
I think so too.
Okay.
And just see what actually happens.
So on secondary.
Yeah, upgrading Postgres to 10.9.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. These are the dots of doom.
Yeah.
It's funny how they in Omnibus have different ways of make people be cautious. Like the replication, you have to type in replicate. With this, you should hit Ctrl+C if you're not agree. But here we go. It might take a while because it has to migrate the data to the new Postgres 10 format.
But then again, there isn't that much data in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because last time when we restarted the replication, it was pretty fast. So I agree. It's not that big.
Yeah. And it's also running reconfigure already. So I don't think we have to reconfigure anything manually.
Yeah, it's doing that right now. Yeah. So if we have it, so we were doing, okay, so the primary is down now.
Yeah, which is expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was pretty quick.
Oh, super. Can you go to the,
Yeah, I was about to. Okay. Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Let me quickly see what it has been doing. I'm always curious to look into the logs of the reconfigure. GitLab keys, not that important, I guess, or related.
I think it's also fast because the Omnibus already ships Postgres 10.9. So it's not really installing anything new. I think it's just, like migrating and rewiring.
Yeah, and that always has to happen because when you do an upgrade between two Postgres versions, you need to have both versions to like migrate the data from one format to the other. Otherwise, it won't work. So this is the Postgres conf, I guess, this file. Commented outlines. Okay. Sure. I guess we have to trust them on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say let's just do it, and then if everything works, I think that's fine.
Oh, I can continue. So that was the first step, do it on the primary.
So the secondary should now be unhealthy, right? If we look at the...
So we're now on the secondary, and if we go to the Geo... Why is there no menu for Geo? Weird.
This is, I think, probably because of the... Okay, yeah, so this also makes sense. The replication broke because you have different Postgres versions.
Okay, yeah, the replication is broken. That's true. Sync information, so the replication... Well, yeah, maybe that's a cached value or something. I'm not sure where the difference from these two come from, but...
No, we have stopped replicating.
Yeah, the upgrade did break the replication, so that's true.
Okay.
So let's switch to this side and do this one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, they definitely give you a lot of time to think about this, where the dots are,
and they
trail of doom.
Do not really give a clear indication that your server will be down for a while.
No, I think that's actually maybe some valid feedback to say, here should be a banner saying, this will take your server offline.
Yeah.
Beware.
Yeah.
It also detected a Geo secondary node somewhere in there. So
yeah. Oh, okay. So secondary HA. This is a different error. Yeah, let's just wait for the reconfigure to complete. Upgrade, not okay. I can imagine this is expected, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Although there's something going on here. Now, all data. Yeah, I just was wondering whether it would be logical that the migrating of the data to the new format on a replica would work, or are you supposed to restart the replication from scratch? I'm not sure.
I think it will. I mean, you definitely need to restart it, right? But maybe not from, I don't know. Okay, so what broke here?
PG upgrade. Let me quickly check if we can find this in detected the geo secondary node. So this function failed. Secondary node has database replica. Aha, it was trying to also upgrade the geo tracking database.
But that's not there because it's on a different node.
So it's not checking that. So it's not built for HA. So we're hitting something that's not built for HA because the tracking and the main database are on different machines. And should I guess this node should know that it is not running the tracking database. Yeah, that's pretty clear.
If the main database and the tracking database are also on separate nodes, maybe that also explains why some of the performance for the joins is so bad and why that varies for different customers that are running it. So then dealing with the latency across the nodes.
That's true. I'm surprised if we didn't ever think about that before, but that's a good point. So yeah, I'm not sure which line is failing at the moment, but I guess it's relating to the tracking database. So are we able to see if the main database is migrated and if it is running, and what should we do now? So GitLab control status. I guess the database, no, it's not running. Can we start it? Okay, yeah, it's not running. That makes sense because it has no database. Let's try to start it. Oh, not everything. Well, normally when the machine would be properly configured, only this process would be able to start, I guess, but setting up HA is hard. Is there something in the logs? Interesting. Relation features does not exist at character 30. Wow. I would expect this is a version mismatch error. So this version is running, and it's 10.9.
Okay.
Creating the Postgres database. Did you see this message?
I think maybe.
Checking cluster information. This is the Geo Postgres database. So normally the regular database, although I'm not seeing. Sorry?
So are you saying that the normal Postgres database has actually succeeded?
Yeah, I see this line, not this one.
Yeah.
Upgrading the Geo. Am I missing something here? Upgrade has completed. Please verify everything is working.
Okay, no, I think it does two things in a row, right? It first upgrades the main database, and then it attempts to also upgrade the tracking database, which is now not working because the tracking database is on a secondary node.
Yeah. Wait, can I find this line in with search? That's this one. Shall we run reconfigure?
Yeah.
That helps.
And then we should attempt to also update the tracking database on the tracking database node, right?
In parallel?
No, not in parallel. I'm just wondering. To me, this sounds like a bug, right? As in.
Yeah, it should not attempt to upgrade it when it's not.
Yeah.
On this machine.
Yes, and there is a configuration that actually tells specifically this is not on this machine.
Exactly. Again, this is taking a while. Was it just on the primary that it was taking a while, or also on this machine? I can't remember. I think this machine. Yeah, I guess if we did a reconfigure, I would restart PostgreSQL. Still the same issue. So is it related to the tracking database not being upgraded, or?
No, like it doesn't actually do anything yet because we also have to re-instantiate the replication, right?
No, the tracking database. So I'm just wondering whether it's Rails trying to do foreign data queries between the two databases and their stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see from the query where, because I feature gates is not something that we would regularly do from.
But if we, like, let's say the procedure that was attempted here was update the main database and then update the tracking database. And that failed because it's an HA installation. But what if we now actually try to update the tracking database and then after that try to re-instantiate the replication?
Okay, I would I agree. So I'm doing it on the tracking database now. Yeah, I was checking the logs here, and so from Rails there was, this background. This is a sidekick, I guess. Yeah. And sidekick, undefined table. And where is this code triggered from? Is it possible to see? I don't think so. What is happening here?
Nothing.
Wow. No currently installed PostgreSQL in Omnibus instance found. So that's because we disabled the main database. So we have disabled this one. So that's not a bug. So these pieces of code, they should be wrapped around like, is this part enabled and is this part enabled?
Yeah.
So shall I just fake it and enable it for now?
Yeah, just try. I mean, we are going to record this anyways, right? And just see what happens.
It would be harder to patch the code to skip it or to move the test than just fake it for now, I guess. How's your tea? Are you out or?
My tea is very good.
I am out of tea.
Must be cold by now. Or Rachel has a really large cup of tea that makes a difference.
It's not that big a cup. Just maybe it looks bigger because it's close to the screen.
That takes a long time, the Grafana stuff.
I'm not even sure what it does. It's a Ruby block. I guess it's also migration because Grafana also stores stuff in a database, and maybe it's related to that. I don't know.
I mean, Grafana, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it shouldn't be much data, so I cannot imagine why it takes so long. So it's reconfigured. Let's try the upgrade again. Okay. If you don't want to upgrade, sure. What can go wrong?
Let's put it this way. Joffrey has survived a few things by now. Right?
So I hope this will succeed and does like the both databases, because if it only does the main database, which we don't use, then we're stuck.
It looks error message free so far.
Okay, so now it's doing a reconfigure again, and I think it has been doing it for the both databases. Yay, let's wait for this again.
Yeah.
Okay. Database upgrade is complete.
Every time I see rm minus f, I cringe a little bit.
Why? It's removing the deploy page. Please verify everything is working and run the following if so. That's weird. It's also missing a step to do this for the tracking database. So that's one other thing to note. And I'm hoping we're up. No, we're not up again.
No, but we still have to reinitiate the replication, correct?
Yeah, but I would expect like the data that is there still is valid.
Yeah.
It has been trying to migrate the data, so it should be able to. It should be valid. Otherwise, it won't make sense to even try to migrate it. So it's still these weird. Still the same errors about like data. I'm wondering whether the tracking database Postgres was restarted. Oh, it's even down.
Okay.
I wonder if you have similar errors about this because it's Sidekick. Why does Sidekick have trouble with? We checked on the primary if like the front end is working, but I'm not sure if Sidekick is also working on the primary. It's failing to start. Can we see what's happening? Why it cannot start? Data in was Postgres 9.6.
So do we have to remove the data directory? That feels.
That would be fatal. Well, that would be data loss because then we would lose all tracking information. So we tried to restart it, but it didn't work. And the data migration. Oh, damn. My logs are gone. Oh, these are Unix times, I guess. Okay, so here are 3 reconfigures. Not sure why there are 3, but I guess 1 for each database. Yeah, but this will print info about like these lines. I want to see where the steps were going, but
Okay, let me just copy you an issue.
Okay.
You can tell like I have a great short-term memory. So
Cool.
I think we just confirmed this problem.
And did the customer resolve this?
I think this is still in development.
Yeah, but we must have found a way to resolve the issue for the customer.
I don't know. Maybe scroll down.
It will fall out when you fail to fit locally. Yeah. Did it detect it? Did we see this line on the? Sorry.
I think we saw that on the definitely on the secondary, but not.
Geo secondary. It should have the role geo secondary line, I think. And if I'm not seeing that. Roles include geo secondary. It's like this, I think so, right?
Ooh, I don't know. We can check on the.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there needs to be a space between roles in the first.
Really? Oh, not like that.
Or am I crazy?
I guess we have a problem now, because if we still want to migrate the data and it already has done that for the main database, it won't do anything for this tracking database, maybe.
Yeah.
Do we have?
I don't think this is actually. I would have to follow up with Ian and Dustin here what they actually did.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
So we essentially we are on 10.9, but the data was not migrated on the tracking database.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we have to backfill again, or?
Sorry?
So because the tracking database,
yeah, we need to run the upgrade command manually, I think, like do the data migration step.
Okay.
Add command under category. Okay, it is. But I'm not sure if I'm able to. Oh. Shall we consider revert?
Yeah, try.
Yeah?
I mean, we're trying out here, right? I think as long as we document what we do, I'm totally happy with.
Okay, I'm just thinking if we should like revert the config change first, then do the revert of the PG upgrade, then add the line to GitLab RB again, and then run it again, or wouldn't it matter?
Phrase that question again.
Yeah, we're gonna try to run the revert. So there's a revert PG upgrade in Omnibus, but we just added the line in GitLab RB, so it sets the geo secondary role. But I'm gonna disable this line again, do the revert, then add the line again, and then again do the migrate, because you've noticed this part what did not run because the roles did not include geosecondary, and that might have caused a problem with the data migration because there was a misconfiguration with our tracking database. So
I think it's so good that we do this. I mean, it's not fun, but I think it's really important to actually do it.
yeah, it will give us less surprises with customers. I really like to know what this is, but I can. It's a Ruby block. Yeah, when you run Ruby, you often need to load the whole application or the whole Rails application, and that usually takes a while. Okay, so we have reverted the GitLab RB change. We're now gonna try the revert command. What was it again? This one. GitLab control. And this probably will just place back the data there for 9.6.
Yep.
The data there that we could delete if everything was okay, and then start the old version again. I guess GitLab PostgreSQL would be running now, and also Geo PostgreSQL is running, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm happy we have a stable state again. Are we actually recording?
Are we not? Yes, we are. We are.
Oh, are we? I cannot see a red dot.
Don't try to touch the red dot. We know how that ended before.
No, I hit record. It's recording on my local.
Okay, no, that's fine. So this is the reconfigure, and I'm hoping we can do the PG upgrade now.
Yeah, with the correct role.
This one.
Yes.
Then we wait again.
Well, but we could revert, right? So that's at least something.
Yeah, that is a nice thing that we have this in place. So maybe that's what the customer also did, revert it and then wait until they have a solution here.
I think that may be true.
Although this is a quite different error
That's a different error, yeah.
Or we might run into it now, but we haven't seen it yet. It makes sense that the misconfiguration in GitLab RB was causing this.
And Grafana again.
I'm pretty sure it's authorized by now.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the line I was looking for.
Mm. And we continue to authorize. Okay.
Okay, GitLab control status. Come on, please be running. All right, it's running. So what does the front end say? Still broken. Okay. What's next?
Reinstate the replication. Correct?
Are you sure?
I'm always sure, Tony. No, I'm obviously not sure.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just want to make sure that we're not skipping some steps. If we can do GitLab. No, how is it again to connect to Postgres? We can do it here also, right?
I don't know, man.
That won't work. Well, maybe it does.
I think there's.
Sorry?
There's GitLab minus PSQL.
Does that exist? But then I need to provide password and stuff, maybe. I know this takes a while, but usually this works. I'll try it.
Okay, let me quickly summarize so I don't forget where we are. So we have actually upgraded to 10.9 successfully on the secondary Postgres, we think, and on the tracking database to 10. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay. How do I see all? Aha. Database seems to be empty. Okay, you were right. I guess we have to restart replication. Shall we do that?
Yep.
So this no, not that command.
Not that command.
This command slot name was
secondary _NL.
And this machine is this one. No, I have to provide the host.
Instance host.
There it is. I'm surprised this restarts replication again. I'm really curious if it does copy over all data, because that sounds inefficient to me. So, where is it now? 20 seconds. So it did restart, and I hope it would be up now, but it's not. Right. Yeah, then I have to provide all the. Okay. So that's correct. Okay. We have a primary and we have a secondary. So why aren't we up and running now? This again.
Oh, we had that, right? Before.
Yeah, and that was related to the replication seems to be overwriting the configuration that did reconfigure right. So if we do reconfigure again, it would overwrite the configuration again correctly.
Yes. So you actually have to reconfigure after you restart the replication.
Yeah.
So that's a missing step in there.
I agree. Did we? Okay, that's also in here.
Yeah.
Does the primary know anything about the current replication status, like database replication? That should be okay, I guess. It's weird that the primary did not refresh its own status in 5 minutes. I agreed the secondary would, but the primary, I'm not really sure about that. Is the secondary back now?
Yeah. Oh.
Sort of.
Maybe it's just up. like starting.
Whoa. Does not exist.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm going to drop off the call because I need to prepare for the next one. But I know that I'm recording this on my local, so I'm going to leave the recording running. And will you just ping me when the call stops, and I'll make sure that it gets uploaded.
Okay, fine by me. I hope that works. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Get that control tail. So this is Sidekick. I think Sidekick is trying to report the replication lag to the primary node, and that's why it's using that function.
Okay.
But I'm not sure why that's. Whoa. Oh, log cursor is also failing. Is it possible to do GitHub Rails only? No, that does not work. I'm not sure why it's. There's nothing obvious in there why the application nodes are not working.
Maybe you have to restart the application node as well. Just
Yeah,
given that.
But we didn't on the primary. That would be weird. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, right?
Well, the question you could question whether it's related to the foreign data wrappers not being updated yet.
Yeah, we could try that.
So we have to run that on the tracking database. Eh?
I forget every time. I think it's on the app server, but we will find out. I think it is on the app server.
Yeah. You might be right. Because the tracking database does not have the connection information of the main database.
Okay.
I would be surprised if that would fix it, but okay.
Sure. Can you just do a geo check here in the app server? I didn't include that there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I mean,
when we see this page, it means the readiness node is okay because the load balancer is sending requests to GitLab and not stopping them at the load balancer itself.
okay.
So there are parts of Rails working, but not everything.
Okay.
But I'm not sure where it's broken at the moment. I was hoping to see something from the logs here, but terminating. Well, maybe we did do the restart the replication, so that when we did that last time, did we restart the application node?
I don't think that's in the instructions for the zero downtime upgrades.
Again, I'm seeing this error about the.
Yeah. Let me quickly.
I think this line of code is being triggered by the banner we saw last time, where your replication is 9 days behind.
Oh, okay.
And that command seems to be like incompatible with the version of PostgreSQL we're using. So I wonder where is it triggered from.
So it said, so one thing that we did have to restart was Unicorn, Sidekick, and the Geo log cursor. So the
Who said that? Sorry, where did you see that?
In the zero downtime instructions, right? Essentially, after the reconfigure is done, and before we do the foreign tables, right, and everything, we we hub Unicorn and Sidekick in the in the updated multi-node zero downtime instructions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this seems like something that is cached in memory. Use this function instead of the other one, because it depends on the version. So it's using the last xlog receive location, while it should be using the last wall receive plus n. I can restart one of both app nodes, and then we can see. So hub Unicorn, and probably also restart geolog cursor because it's running on this machine also. And then I have to wait a little while before this app node is fully restarted. Not sure if you can access it directly. Yeah, it's going through the load balancer again. Or shall I do in parallel also the second application node?
Yeah, just restart the second one. I mean,
yeah, doesn't make lots of difference.
No.
Where is Sidekick running? Also on this machine, or?
I think so. There we go.
Yeah.
And if you go to the admin node now,
Sorry?
if we go to the admin panel,
Yeah, there's not much here yet. 224.
maybe we can create a new project or something and just see that.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll also be interested in is if the database version on the secondary now displays 10.9 correctly.
Oh yeah, I'll check that in an instant. So, hello from not form PG 10 PG 1009.
Yeah.
.9. So from this is the secondary, okay. It's reporting 10.9. That's awesome. So on the secondary, the comment should be there. Pretty sure that it is.
Yep.
Here we are. And now I'm gonna add a reaction and then things will. No, that won't work anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So what were the steps? Yeah, we can do this.
I mean, we don't need to do it now, right? But we can because we migrated the data.
I would expect, on the secondary, I'd like to know if like the project information or everything is still there. So projects, it's healthy, cool. Primary is still not healthy. Okay, so this data is still there because it's weeks old, so it didn't delete that information. I wanted to make sure it wasn't. That's awesome, I guess. I think we
did it, right?
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, we did it.
Okay, so if I have to recap this in the instructions that I wrote, at some point you have to, after this, you have to reconfigure.
So we did, we do all databases upgrade first.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Then we do the replication, and then we do the reconfigure after the replicate.
Yes.
And then we restart Unicorn, Sidekick, Locker.
On the F servers, yeah. And then we also upgrade the foreign data tables. Oops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so the one thing that failed here was on the tracking database where we had a misconfiguration, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
But also, didn't you have to fake?
Yeah. Two problems exactly. So we couldn't do the PG upgrade on a Geo Postgres only node. We have to have like a combined node.
Yes.
And
so that errored out. I mean, what actually, so what it tried to do is it upgraded the Postgres, the main Postgres, and then immediately attempts to do the Geo, the tracking database as well, and that then fails, right? Which is expected because it is ignoring, like it is essentially expects everything to run on the same node, right?
Yeah.
And then when you go to the Postgres, the tracking database, and you just execute the PG upgrade, it says, hey, this is not configured to have an omnibus Postgres. So you then have to actually add this to the GitLab RB file, even though that's not really true. Then the upgrade works. And you're done. So there are essentially two small problems here that that should be fixed.
Yeah. Well, wasn't there just one misconfiguration and one thing that I think we would, if we would have set the roles Geo secondary role correctly, then we would only have had one problem.
Okay.
If we would do like if we would have used the steps afterwards correctly, we were hoping to get the node up again sooner, but it seems that doing the PG upgrade on the secondary database required to restart replication again.
Mm-hmm.
And that piece was already in documentation or not?
Yeah, I mean, there is no real documentation for this, right? This is why I wrote this up, right?
Yeah, this piece.
This is the piece, right? And that is that assumes a single node installation, really, right? Because it doesn't really tell you where like you should execute those commands.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I essentially made it up.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it was pretty good.
So I think this is maybe a follow-up issue here is we should add a section here saying like if you are running Geo in an HA installation with a single Postgres database, this is how to do this, right? That's sort of a follow-up item.
Yeah.
But we should talk to Ian and the distribution team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's overall not that bad at all.
No.
You have to do a few tricks, but you'll be able to upgrade it fairly easy.
Yeah, I think
this replicate step, I'm not sure about yet why the replication restarts from scratch, or it seems to be.
Yeah, I mean that's some follow-up questions, but I think what we like in general, like these instructions were already pretty close to what you needed to do. Mm-hmm. I think, and we're now on 10.9, and we had no data loss, I think, and I mean we had plenty of downtime, but it's possible.
Because Geo is a sort of an HA setup. Should we? Because if that would be a problem for like if you run multi-node Postgres on like a non-Geo setup, also you will also have to run this step. I was wondering if this would not happen if you would be using Replication Manager, Rep Manager.
I have no idea. I don't know. I have no technical knowledge for this.
No, me neither, but yeah.
Okay, I would say pretty good.
That's 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5 stars. And I think now we are also at 10.9, which means like my hope is that we are at 12.2 with 10.9, which is where 10.9 was actually introduced. And now going from 12.2 to 12.3 using the zero downtime instructions, I hope should be relatively straightforward. And then going from 12.3 to 12.4 as well. And I think then we are actually up to date, and we brought the cluster all the way from 11.11 to 12.4, which I think is quite the journey.
Well, shall we ask Rachel to stop the recording then?
Yep.
I hope that would succeed, as I'm not sure what she's doing.
Cool. I have another meeting now, so I need to drop off.
Oh, she's still here. Okay. Or who is? Yeah, she's still here. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Fabian.
Cool. Thanks, Stone. We did it. Yeah, take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.